Now, load shedding, ladies and gents, it is one of the things that not only is it bringing a huge harm or impact into, of course, consumers in South Africa, but it is also bringing a huge impact in, obviously, the companies, being it from small to large. So this is one of the things that I think those of you that have been following me on this channel, we've discussed quite a number of times. And today, this morning, in fact, I woke up hearing that we are going back to level or to load shedding stage 4, which is something that obviously it makes me to be really sad, because like I said, as a retail investor, I get worried because the companies or some of the companies that I invest in are definitely going to feel the heat or the pinch from this load shedding. I mean, companies like Stillwater, which is one of the companies that I like, did indicate a few months ago that due to this load shedding, they might end up reducing their production capacity in their mines, which is something that obviously is going to hurt their revenues, or is going to see their Stillwater not reporting the kind of revenues that they would want. And also, not only them, other companies, I mean, we've seen also Vodacom starting with other mitigation measures to try to, of course, make this load shedding to not impact them by much. So load shedding, not only is it hurting the small businesses, which we've heard or seen a couple of small business owners complaining on social media as to what harm this load shedding brings to their businesses. I mean, some small businesses are having to close their businesses due to this load shedding. Even medium businesses are having to close down their businesses due to this load shedding, because they are losing customers, or they are not producing as much as they were before. Of course, this load shedding is being implemented almost on each and every week, which is something that, ladies and gents, like I said, as a retail investor, as a consumer in SA, I am worried, and it makes me to be hesitant, because this is also going to make our GDP to shrink, because companies won't produce as much, or companies won't make as much revenues from their production, because they will be forced to cut production due to load shedding, which is going to result, ladies and gents, in the GDP that maybe South Africa can report for the year of 2022 going forward to be reduced or to shrink until such time where, of course, mitigation measures are being implemented to try to obviously take away or completely make consumers and businesses not to see this load shedding anymore. So this, to me, ladies and gents, makes me to be hesitant to invest into some of the SA stocks. This, as a retail investor, makes me to be really sad, because there are companies with a good potential in South Africa that are listed in the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. But when I think about the current conditions in South Africa, which not only it's inflation, but it is also load shedding, makes me to be really hesitant to put much of my money into local stocks, because, ladies and gents, whether you like it or not, this is going to have some impact in most of the companies that we are investing in. I mean, for a fact that a mining company like Stillwater uttered such statement, it means that almost all mining companies are really going to feel the heat from this load shedding, which is something that is a problem. I mean, to those that are obviously investing into local companies. Load shedding, ladies and gents, it is one of the things that obviously, as a retail investor, like I said, it makes me to be really become skeptical to invest my money into some of the local SA stocks. Yes, I know that also outside we've got issues with inflation, which is not only is it high here in South Africa, but almost everywhere in the world, of course, except countries like China. It is very high, and it is a problem, and countries are fighting to bring down that inflation, because if they don't, they might end up seeing their currencies depreciating in terms of their value, which is something that obviously countries don't want to see that, and the chances are very high that we might see them trying to fight inflation. And as they fight inflation, they fight it by increasing interest rates, which doing that is going to also bring of course some huge impact into of course consumers who are having long-term loans. It's going to also bring huge impact into businesses because they can easily or they cannot easily go out there and loan money to grow their businesses, which is something that obviously that is the problem that, like I said, we are not the only ones facing in South Africa, but also countries like, or big countries like the US and others are facing that kind of a problem of high inflation. So inflation, ladies and gents, it is something that is still within our midst. But the good thing, if you have to check especially the US cost of living or CPI numbers, though it has been this high, we are seeing each and every month it being reduced, which is something that shows us that there is hope, or to say that we can see of course the inflation coming down due to the hikes of interest rates, which is something that obviously must just make us to obviously stay long and strong to obviously the companies, the stock that we're investing in, because once they get inflation to a place where they want to, then we are also going to see them cutting or stopping increasing interest rates, which is going to make companies or stocks to start to recover, especially when they start cutting down interest rates, which is something that I cannot wait to see that time, because whether people like it or not, that time will come and we are going to see stocks recovering. And those of you that are loading the boat, increasing their holdings into some of their quality stocks, especially in the US, are definitely going to see, of course, wonderful good gains when the economy around the world recovers, which is something that obviously makes me to continue loading the boat, increasing my holdings on some of the stocks, ETFs, which I like. Otherwise, with all that, guys, I just thought I'd just give you this quick updates as to what kind, or remind you the kind of impact this load shedding brings, not only to consumers, but as the retail investors who are buying shares publicly in companies publicly listed in the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment, and subscribe. And once you subscribe, don't forget to hit or click that notification bell so that at least you get notified by YouTube every time I drop a new content. Otherwise, you already know that this video was just an entertainment video and not a professional financial advice video. Otherwise, if you seek professional financial advice, you already know what to do by now, and that is you need to go out there and consult the professional. So it is important that before, of course, you load the boat in your stocks, you do your own due diligence so that at least even when you see the stocks that you own falling or dropping by 10-20%, you don't panic, because you know the fundamentals that surround the stocks or companies you own. Otherwise, that's all from me, and I wish you nothing but the best in your stock market investing journey, and God bless you all.